Hey, what's going on, everybody? TaylorMade Hoops coming to you live and direct once again with TaylorMade Hoops Coach's Corner. Today, I got a very, very special guest. I have Coach Michael Thomas on. He's the head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont, Texas. Coach just completed his first year as the head coach at Westbrook High School. It was a great, great season for Westbrook High School. Coach Thomas led Westbrook High School to the Class 5A Division I state championship. This is the first state title game in program history. Uh, he's also, I was just teasing, he's also a legendary player in the Beaumont area. We'll talk about that later. But I have Coach Michael Thomas on. How you doing, Coach?
Doing pretty good yourself. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Coach. I'm doing great, Coach. Hey, man, I was talking to Coach B, man, and it's a small world. Uh, some of my people down from Beaumont area, man. So I'm familiar with Beaumont, man. I got people
Okay.
from Beaumont, man. No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll chop it up afterwards and see. Yeah, because Coach said he knew some of my people, man. He said, "Oh yeah, yeah." So yeah, yes
Oh
sir.
yeah. Those
Small
know
word,
everybody.
Coach.
Those know everybody.
Um, well, Coach, we're gonna go ahead and let the viewers know what we'll be talking about today. Today we'll be talking objectives and points of conversation. Me and Coach will be talking about a championship culture, his offense and defense philosophy, and of course we're gonna talk about the championship season. But my first question to you, Coach, is where did you grow up in your athletic and educational journey, Coach Thomas?
Um, Grew up Beaumont, Texas, on the south side, and played at Beaumont High School. Rich tradition. My
Yes,
senior
sir.
year, we went 36-0, won the 4A state championship, finished top 20 in the nation. Then after that, I played basketball at Lee Junior College for Roy Champaign, Region 14, and finished up at Lamar University. But I got a lot of my lessons in the playgrounds at Sprout Park, Shoshone Park, and the rec center.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And man, Coach, man, I was just talking, man, the Coach Pritchard after Summit High School, and we just laughing and joking, man, talking about Coach Thomas, how these kids nowadays, what you just said, don't do like we used to do, man. Go to the park, go to the
Oh
wrecking
yeah,
hoop, man. Where we got to adjust, Coach. But like you say, man, I grew up in Dallas, Coach. So like I was telling him, man, the times I grew up in, Coach, we didn't have ours AAU. All we had, you probably don't even remember, Coach. We had BCI. That's all we had was BCI. What have
yeah, I
you?
heard about it.
Yeah,
I
so
definitely heard about it. Oh yeah,
that's all we had, Coach. So now, like you said, Coach, man, we would just go from park to park, wreck to wreck, wherever you knew the good run was, Coach. You know how it goes, just like anything. Back in that day, we didn't have cell phones out there, but word would travel. So you knew where all the good runs would be and things this sort. So we just go get some good run in. But I had him laughing because I told Coach Thompson, I said, this, hey man, you go to doggone record the park, Coach. And you didn't want to lose, Coach, because you mess around lose, Coach, you
you
might have
never
to
get
wait
back
eight,
on.
9 games.
You never get back on. but they created that competitive edge and that competitive nature in you. So those things were very important, especially for me.
Oh yeah, and also talks to too, Coach. Man, these young boys understand is when you was playing against older guys, better guys, what have you, Coach. You had to understand how to play a role and how to perform. Even though, Coach, like yourself, I know you're a point guard, but hey, I know you can score a little bit. But hey, you had to do what the old dudes want you to do, man. If they hey, say stand there, coach, whatever. Hey, when they kick it to you, you better knock it down, or they ain't passing to you no more, Coach.
You're right about that. Shoot, you preaching to the choir over here, brother. I'm telling you.
Well, Coach, uh, let me ask this, Coach Thomas. What role did athletics play in your life growing up? How important was playing sports, Coach?
Very important for me because coming up, I was considered like a late bloomer. I was a guy
Okay.
that I didn't play point guard until my eighth grade year. Zachary Davis, a young coach from Prairie View A&M, he came in and he said, "I'm gonna put the ball in your hand," because I was trying to be a knucklehead, but that really wasn't me. But
Okay.
this man say, "Man, you could be a point guard." So I asked, "What's a point guard?" He said, "That's somebody that make others better." I said, "I could do that." So that's what kind of inspired me at an early age, and when I was in middle school, eighth grade. Then just fell in love with the game. Guys like James Smith, Doc James Smith, old school, Thomas McGee. Those guys are the guys that poured wisdom and knowledge into me. And like I say, I'm forever grateful to those guys, the Stacey Lewis and those guys like that. And that kind of inspired me to want to play the game of basketball and give back as much as I could.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey, for my viewers tuning in, I have Coach Michael Thomas on, head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont, Texas, state championship coach. Got things rolling down there. Great program has been for a while down there. Great brand of basketball down there, man.
Mhm.
Uh, no doubt, coach. Now you got to come to play. You got to come to play. You play the schools down in Beaumont, coach. You got to
Yeah.
come to play. Hey, we can't leave out down there. We can't leave out Silsby, man. Silsby, man, all down in the area, man. You got to play, coach. You got the ball, coach.
24 minutes down the road. Hey,
Yes,
right there,
sir.
right next door.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Uh-huh.
sir. Well, coach, let me ask you this, coach. You spoke of, you was late bloom as far as, playing your position point guard or what have you, coach. But let me ask this, coach. When did you realize that you wanted to be a coach? When did that coaching bug hit you, Coach Thomas?
To be honest with you, my junior year, may sound crazy. We had to do a research paper in my English 3 class, Mr. Rich, Devin Rich at Ozen High School. He said, "What you want to do when you grow up?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I like what Coach Butte doing. He a coach, right?" I said, "Yeah." I say, "Man, I want to be a coach." So I wrote I still have the paper to this day, to be honest with you. My mom kept
Right.
it. It inspired me. I always wanted to be a coach because I saw the impact that it had on young people like myself. But again, I'm a fella that I'm not no street dude, but I could have went either way because those were my influences in growing up. So I chose the basketball route, and I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at today.
Oh yeah, man, coach. I think, coach, man, you speak to the choir, coach. On
Mhm.
that, coach. Same thing with me, coach. I wasn't a street dude, no thug or what have you like this. But you know how I go. Unfortunately, just your environment that you're around.
Right.
You kind of got the two choices. You got the dudes, that's hooping or what have you. That's trying to do the right thing, what have you. Then you got them guys that's not. And then coach. Sometimes you have a combination. You have them dudes, that's hooping, what have you. That could be good, what have you, but they want to combine, the street life and the hooping together, and that's why they probably didn't weren't able to fulfill the opportunity to meet their potential. But you're right about that. And the same thing with me, coach. I could have went either way, but I'm glad I chose, like I said, the right way, coach. No doubt about that,
Question.
man.
Good question.
Yeah. Well, coach, I kind of know one of the people that you're probably gonna say, but who are some people that had the biggest influence on you as a coach?
Um, of course, Coach Butte always
Yep.
been my guy. I met him in the 8th grade. Again, I really didn't know what direction I wanted to go. I really didn't know too much about basketball, especially winning a state championship. So he came into my life, inspired me, say, "Man, you need to." First time I met him, 8th grade, he said, "Man, you got to work on that left hand." I said, "All right, all right, I'm gonna work on it." So going into my 9th grade year, Ozen was a brand new school. They only had 9th and 10th grade my 9th grade year. So
Okay.
we didn't become a varsity until my sophomore year. So I became a 3-year starter under him. But under his tutelage, it showed me how to play a winning brand of basketball. From there, that was my first inspiration. As far as from the coach, I had many guys throughout the way, but as far as coaches, Coach Butte, Coach James Gamble, I spoke to him last week. I speak to him from time to time. Legendary coach, 4-time state champion at Port Arthur Lincoln. You heard of all them great teams.
Yes, sir.
Legendary Fred Williams. I've been in this house here. I'm supposed to be going to his house next week or next month. And just getting an opportunity to be around greatness all the time. Then also you have guys like like Coach Sigler from Salisbury. I just love his influence,
Oh
his
yeah.
demeanor, how he carry himself as a man. He's a great man in
Yes, sir.
the community. And you got guys like Dwayne Juba, just won a state championship at Coombs. I've always what I'm saying, looked up to him. I watched him from afar. I said, man, I love how he allowed his team to play with good flow. And that's gonna get touched on to some of my offensive and defensive philosophy on certain things. And just watching them, man, then jumping to the football side, you got some great coaches like Dan Hooks, legendary coach from West Orange Start.
Hmm.
He was big on discipline and defense. And that was his philosophy as a coach. So I've taken bits and pieces from certain coach to create my own unique style. And the legendary Alex Durley, football coach, 2-time state champion, I believe. Hopefully, I'm getting that wrong. No old school cats, man, don't be mad at me. But I believe he won in '76 at Beaumont Hebert, went undefeated. Then also, he won the first state title at Westbrook High School in 1983, football title, 82-83 school year. And those men, some of them still living. You know, most of them still living, got a few that's deceased, but just the influence of those men, the impact that they had on me, just how they coach, different coaching styles. A lot of them was yellers and all that going crazy. So if you pay attention to my coach style on the sideline, I'm more laid back because I've learned. It took me years to really learn that approach because you know I feel like a player can't be comfortable if you constantly yelling at them, especially in game. Now I get on your butt in practice behind closed doors, but you know, like Fred Williams say, man, he's always been a gentleman's gentleman, and he coached with compassion and pride and things like that. And you know, when you look at Coach Boots, his demeanor on the sideline, man, is calm. So I try to take bits and pieces from those men to create my own unique style.
Oh yeah, coach. And you're right about that, coach. You and Coach B, both of y'all, man. Over the years watching y'all play, y'all real, you know what I'm saying, real relaxed, really like you say, don't seem like, nothing really concern y'all. But I know what it is, coach, is that, y'all have that strong presence where y'all don't have to say a lot of words because y'all stand
Right.
on, like as the kids say, y'all stand on business. Kids know
Stand on bit.
the
Right.
expectations. No, you know what I'm saying? No, but
Right.
seriously,
Oh
coach,
yeah.
no.
Mhm.
The kids know the expectations. They know the expectations, and like anything, coach, just like being in the classroom, coach, they know, the consequences, the consequences, rewards, of the actions, coach. So, you really don't have to say a lot, but it says a lot about your program and a lot about the impact that you have on those kids and the teaching that you have going on because you one of those coaches where it should be that the teaching and the coaching should go on in doing practice.
Oh yeah.
During the games, the kids, hey, they should know and be prepared to know everything they should know. Just go out there, like to say, coach, go out there and play, coach.
Exactly. I definitely that's definitely most definitely my coaching style. No question. Yes, sir.
Well, hey, for my viewers tuning in, you can tell that I'm very, very excited, man. I have legendary, I got a team of legendary point guard in Beaumont, Texas, my main man, Michael Thomas, who's the head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont. They just won the 5A Division I state championship. He got things rolling, coach. He got things rolling.
Yes, sir. We're trying to get it going.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. But hey, I'm just to be honest with you, coach, man. Hey, which I know, there's no pressure on you, but because y'all good friends would have you, and I read your bio, whatever that you and Coach B, man. It's no pressure on you, man. But hey, you was falling behind the legend, man. You was falling behind the
Yeah,
legend, coach.
so you right about that. But the thing about it, he taught me how to deal and handle pressure. And so I'm
Okay.
taking bits and pieces of that because and what he would tell me all the time, and you got to be yourself. If you be who yourself and be true to you, you ain't got to worry about trying to do something the next man did before you. You just got to be
Okay.
yourself and keep marching and keep moving forward. Yes, sir.
Man, I like that, man. I like that advice, coach. Well, coach, man, I got to tease you, coach. I've been teasing the whole time about this, but Uh, how does it feel to win the state championship at Westbrook, the same city and school district where you won the state championship as a player, coach?
I mean, it feel great because you doing it for your hometown. And it's always great to kind of help unite the community, seeing the fans get excited, saying all over Beaumont. And those are the things that I'm about. I'm a big community guy, and I've always
Okay.
wanted to embrace young people, help people, inspire people. And I think throughout this little championship journey, it's given me the opportunity to inspire young people. So it makes your voice a little bit louder when you win, on this level right there. People listen a little bit more. And I've been preaching the same message forever. Just, want to help as many young people as I can because I think my generation, what I mean, we failed a little bit to a certain extent helping these young men get it because I'm looking at how in my city, man, crime has gone up so much. So hopefully I could say something that can inspire the next generation to do better and be better than what I am now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And man, coach, I love that you said about that, coach. We just take accountability, for like you say, maybe like you say, not totally because they gotta take a little accountability too, but
Oh,
like
no
I said,
question.
maybe dropping the ball a little bit, coach. Maybe like you say, not have them old school guys was hard on us and
Man,
what have you. I think just be honest, coach, man, and it's just one of the things to be honest, coach. This coach as each generation gets better and situations get better. So I'm pretty sure, coach, not speak for you, but I'm pretty sure, coach, that you and your kids, your family, how you growing up, coach, is a little bit more better for us, financially and things that sort
oh
than,
yeah,
than when you grew up and what have you. So
oh no,
I think
oh,
what
yeah,
happens is, coach, is that as we started being able to afford to do different things, with our kids, stuff like that, that we got a little soft. I think to be
Yeah.
honest, coach, we got a little soft whereas before, I don't know if our parents had to be hard or what have you, because, at the time, they didn't have as much opportunities and the world
Right.
was a little more tougher. So, you
Right.
had to be tough and hard nosed. I don't know, but I do agree with you, coach. I do think we did, kind of, drop the ball a little bit, for us with this,
Yeah.
mentoring this generation.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But then after that, we'll switch the topics, man, because I could go all day on this.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
one of my OGs, like the people say, my OGs, he told me, say, you gotta look at kids like seeds. You're a farmer, and if you don't water your harvest or whatever, it's not gonna grow. We haven't been watering the our farm and all our stuff properly. So to me, that's an adult problem. Yeah, they could accountability, but you got to teach them things. We assume that people know how to do certain things, but they haven't been
Mhm,
taught. And like you
mhm,
say, we'll give them the world, we'll give them the nice shoes and the money, but we're not giving them, what I'm saying, core values and work ethic and certain things that they need to move
mhm,
forward. So that's the
mhm.
things I'm talking about when I say that you kind of drop the ball a little bit. That
Oh
I'm
yeah.
trying to do as much as I can. I try to each one. I'm a each one teach one type of guy. So
Mhm.
that's what my
Oh yeah.
passion really is. Outside of the basketball, I'm just being honest with you, man. I love trying to help young people.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, coach. No, and I totally agree with you said, coach. Now I knew what you was talking about, coach. We on the same page because, like you say, coach. Man, I still teach, and I teach at the alternative school where the kids are so-called the bad kids, but we know they just made bad decisions. And I tell the kids
Right,
all the time,
right.
they laugh at me all the time. They say, Coach Taylor, they're like, man, because I was telling me, I say, hey man, you great. You just made a bad decision. Don't let that define you or what have you. Don't let nobody put that label on you, what have you. But I tell them all the time, Coach, I say, hey man. I did stuff, man. I said, but we didn't have social media, we didn't have cameras, we didn't have all this
Shit,
stuff. I said, so I
I'm
probably would have
lucky.
been in a lot of trouble, coach, but they didn't have
You're right about
social
that.
media and all that,
Yeah,
coach.
buddy. Uh-huh. Yeah, because I don't know where I would be, to be honest with you, because I'm a guy, like I say, I was headed down the wrong path. I failed sixth grade. I was in
Okay,
special ed, and for a long time, because not because of my learning disability. I had a lazy disability. You know what I
okay.
mean? I lost focus in life. I started focusing on the wrong things. So those are the things that when I do speak to young people, I try to inspire them. Like, man, I've been in a lot of places that I wasn't supposed to be in, man. But by the grace of God, and my mother I had a praying mother. You know what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying? So help me out so I can make good sound decisions, and hopefully I can inspire the next group of young people coming up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, hey man, y'all can tell on TaylorMade Hoops Coach's Corner, man. We having a good time, man, chopping it up with Coach Michael Thomas, the head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont, a state championship coach. As you can tell, man, on here, we like to like to share knowledge and drop gems, for all people, man, for the youngsters, whoever might be listening and coaching. He's hitting you with some life stuff, man, which is most important because I tell the kids all the time, the ball will quit bouncing, man. So what you go do when the ball bounce, man, and your education and the values that you learn, or in the programs, will take you much farther than your athletic ability will take you, man. I promise you. I promise you that. Well, coach, we go shift gears, coach, as you were saying, because hey, I can talk about that topic all day.
Yeah, all
We
day.
go, yeah, I can't, coach. We go, we go talk about, coach, a little bit about your championship culture. Coach Thomas, how do you establish a championship culture in your program, and how do you maintain the championship culture on a daily basis, coach?
That's a great question. Currently right now I'm writing my second book, and it's called For the West Side. It's a book kind of talking about my coaching journey and also building up to the championship. You know what I'm saying? Winning the state championship, man. And my philosophy on just building a strong culture, just first of all, it starts with the head man, the leader. Consistency. You got to be consistent. You know what I
Okay.
mean? You can't preach, do X, Y, Z. You late every day. You're not working hard. So you got to be the first example. And before
Okay.
we put any other things on anybody else. So first and foremost, that's the first step of building a strong culture. You know what I'm saying? Consistency. And now you got to be honest. We got to is also you got to be honest. Sometimes you may not be where you think you are as a player, and I have to be honest with you so we could get you to where you should be. And
Yes, sir.
so like you went back to earlier about that accountability piece. It's about holding myself accountable as a coach and also holding the kids accountable so they can grow. Sometimes like I tell a kid all the time, if you happy every day when you leave me from practice, I haven't done my job. You know what I mean? I haven't challenged you. I haven't gotten you to a level mentally that you should get to. And that's a big part of building a championship culture to me, getting kids to believe that they could be more or better than what they may actually be. Because that's how I was. I felt like I could run through a wall coming up as a player playing for Coach Butte. So I tried to simulate that type of coaching style, you know what I mean, as far as building a strong culture. Because right now we're in what we call our boot camp. And boot camp just basic stuff to the average person when you actually read the description of it. Man, I have 5 groups, 5 leaders. Each leader is responsible for their group, and within
Okay.
their group, you know, it's different colors. You got to make sure you gotta get to class on time, get to school on time. Make sure you follow the first level is following basic rules. If we can't follow basic rules, we can't win a championship at no level, in my opinion. Or build a true program where it's consistency. When those guys graduate, it's about the next group. It's about
Mm-hmm.
legacy. That's what I constantly preach. Then once we get out of level 1, you know what I mean, we start touching on the mental aspect of it. Some days I gotta make practice and I gotta make things harder than what the game will ever be. So when you get in the game, kind of like the Birdville game, at the end, we in overtime. That's why I made a reference to what we had been doing all year long, what we call championship running. Championship running is 4 minutes on the clock, and it's 4 consecutive minutes of running. So what that is a mental thing, because nobody really don't want to run. They don't even talk about that no more in old school. I done spoke to several coaches. They don't even run in practice because they don't want nobody to be mad at them. So we gonna, and it's cool. And that philosophy they don't want to. I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
disrespecting.
yeah. Each other, yeah.
But for me, you know, I think the mental part in those guys, they was able to buy into that mindset. So once we got into the overtime, I say we've been here before. This championship running right here, and guys didn't wear down. And to me, that's a mentality. That's building a culture. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why our theme was do it for the West Side. You know, we on the West Side of town, which has never been done. So you have to do things that's never been done as a program, you know, mentally and all kind of stuff, emotionally, spiritually, to get to that level. And people don't understand it. You know, it was a cultural shift, you know, from what we had been doing. So we just trying to breed toughness. And I'm like a U of H. I got a chance to go to Kelvin Sampson clinic last year, and I stole a lot of things from him. You know,
Yes,
just
sir.
the gladiator rebounding drill, you know, this thing they diving on the floor. So I think it's a mentality thing that you gotta instill in your players. And the players, the coach got the vision, but the players, they control the culture. And I truly believe
Yeah.
that. The coach, I'm gonna give you the vision, this is what I see, blah, blah, blah. The players, they control
Yes, sir.
all of that stuff, locker room stuff. They make sure guys get in the class on time. I always preach, I am my brother's keeper. And you gotta really believe that. So to me, that's a cultural thing that you gotta instill in your guys. And it starts at the top from the leader. You know, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the press conference when Elijah Garrett, the state MVP, said, he said, I didn't want to let my coach down. Because I see him in the gym every morning. I see him watching film 6 a.m. in the morning. If he putting this much work in, I know I gotta match that same type of energy. So
Yes,
it always start with the example, the leadership. And I'm gonna keep touching on that because that's the thing. The next phase of my life, you know, the next 10 years or whatever, man, to be an athletic director or something like that, some form of leadership, you know, to grow the profession. And that's what I'm big on, teaching people how to move and how to do things correctly. And I don't know it all, but I'm constantly learning. I'm evolving as a man, you know, so I can help build strong men. So that's the things that I be on. And that's how I think you build a strong culture. It ain't just basketball. It ain't just putting the ball in the hoop. There's many more things that's a part of that equation that you got to put inside that gumbo, like people say down south. You know, I love
yes,
some
sir.
gumbo, but you got to mix it and
Yes,
put it in that
sir.
gumbo and get that roux real good. And once you do that, man,
Mhm.
you good. You got a good formula. You know, so those are the things how we build a strong culture.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And the biggest thing, man, that I took from what you said, Coach, man, is the first thing you said, man, as a leader or what have you, you got to set the example, Coach. You know,
Okay.
you can't be telling kids, you know, to get to practice on time and you walking in late, Coach. You know what I'm saying? And just like you said about E. Gary, man, Elijah boy, he a bad boy too. He a bad boy, but
Bad boy.
yeah, yeah, but what you said about him as far as like you say, You didn't say anything basketball wise about him trying to get better, improve. You say, Coach, he's in there 6 o'clock in the morning watching film, things that. So like you said, as a coach, you see your best player, doing that. Like you say, Coach, I gotta step my game up, Coach. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, I can't take, like you said. And then I love what you said. The kids are the culture protectors. It's your program. Like you say, I'm gonna lay out the vision, what have you. And Coach, I'm definitely gonna get with you on that, Coach. Man, I love what you say about your boot camp, how you have 5 leaders and everybody,
Mm-hmm.
if you're sponsored for something, I'm definitely gonna get with you, man, and pick your brain on that, man. I really
Yes,
like
sir.
that, man. That's Coach. That's top notch there, Coach.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
hey, for my viewers tuning in, as you can tell, man, me and Coach Michael Thomas, the head coach at Westbrook High, head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont, Texas, state championship coach. We just chopping it up, man, having a great time, man. I'm learning, man, as I'm conversating with Coach, having a great time. Well, Coach, man, this is the part, man, I always get excited about, man. Being a basketball guy myself.
Okay.
Let me ask this, Coach. What is your offense and defense philosophy? How does Coach Thomas like to play down there in Westbrook?
For me, I think I mentioned Dwayne Jubert earlier from Kunks. I've
Yes, sir.
always admired how he coached as far as offensive flow. Because my thing is very simple, man. I wanna run, I wanna flow
Okay.
into my offense, I wanna crash the boards. And to me, it's that simple. I think we got to teach concepts in practice. We work on various things in practice, that teach you how to play basketball. We got some
Okay.
quick hits and things like this, some ATOs or whatever. But my thing is to teach you how to play basketball. I want you to think better. So, and when I started dealing with my offensive philosophy, it's spacing, man. You got to be able to shoot the 3 ball in today's game. All 4 or 5 of your guys got to be able to shoot the ball. Everybody got to handle the ball. So those are the things that I have evolved with the times, and I'm continuing to evolve with. I'm studying the game. I'm still studying every morning, 6 in the morning. I get up. I'm doing film session. I'm studying. I'm breaking down the entire season. I'm trying to look. Okay, why did we lose these 2 games? Okay, why did Birdville come back? Did I lack focus? Did I, things like that? I have to self evaluate myself and be honest,
Yes,
and
sir.
that's how I
Yes,
grow.
sir.
I've been doing it for years. It's not just the first year I've been doing it. This is my third head coaching job, so I was just fortunate to get over the hump this year. You know what I mean?
Yes,
A
sir.
lot of guys in
Yes,
coach
sir.
30, 40 years never got an opportunity to get to the state tournament. And I
Yes,
don't
sir.
take that for granted. I really don't. Because one of my good friends, man, Karan Taylor, the head coach at Shoemaker, and
Yes, sir.
one of my good, we talk 3, 4, 5 times, maybe a day sometimes, but he done dropped a lot of knowledge on me about certain things, about offensive flow, but we shoot that basketball. I'm gonna shoot 30, 40% of the time in practice. That's all I do because I got that from Coach Sigler, speaking with him, meeting with him. You know what I mean? And also certain parts of the game, like the controlling. Like when sometimes you may have to control that tempo, and I haven't mastered that yet, but I'm working on it. That's a Coach Booth and Coach James Gamble. You know what I mean? I love to play chess. If you walk in my office, you're gonna see a chessboard on my desk. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that symbolizes strategy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Intellect. You got to think the game. You got to teach the kids how to see the game different. I got to see the game 2 and 3 plays ahead. Okay, I'm gonna beat this first player. He can't guard me in my mind. Okay, now what's the next level of defense I got to get by? I got to hit some counters with. So those are things that I constantly, try to get the guys to see the game offensively. So it's about for me space and flow. You know what I mean? Ball movement. You know what I mean? So it's a combination of everything. So but on my defensive end, man, I'm an aggressive guy. You know, I'll play whatever defense I could play, but I don't care if it's zone, man, half court, full court. It's gonna be aggressive. You know what I mean? I don't never want to just sit back and make you comfortable. I want to,
Mhm.
like, for example, you go back to the state semifinal game, man. A very talented Veterans Memorial team, #1 in the state. They averaged 85, 86 points a game. They
High
attempted
school.
Oh yeah. They
Crazy.
attempted 29, 33 pointers a game. So we was able to cut that in half and they made, I believe, 12 or 13 per game. But they only made 6. And they 4-star guy, the big kid that just got offered yesterday from Texas, Billy White, man, awesome, man, 6'9", 2 guard. He was, but our thing was we want to wear you down. We want to get in your legs so you can't hit those same threes in the fourth quarter, third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about a grind. It's kind of what U of H does. I'm more of defensively. I'm more of like if you look at the old Detroit Pistons '04, everybody play island defense. You don't overhelp. They didn't double team on Shaquille O'Neal. You're gonna have to get 40 tonight, 50. That's how my
Mm-hmm.
mindset is. So I pride myself on, along with my coaching staff, working on individual defenses, footwork every day. We drilling. That's a
Okay.
mindset. You know, you making guys feel like they could guard Michael Jordan. That's how I feel. I feel like I can guard Michael Jordan. So you got to have that type of supreme confidence in yourself, and that's what we try to instill in our young men, because it ain't nothing but grit and want to. The tough teams win. You know what I mean? I could go back
Yep.
to Eastview game. That's the semifinals, regional semis. We down 11 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. What happened with U of H and Duke? That was us. We were
Mm-hmm.
down 11 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. We went on a 15-0 run to win the game. That's unheard of. But if you start to, and I told them the same thing. I say, we've been here before, championship running. I say, we got to wear them down. I say, you ain't see no panic or nothing from me, but it starts with the leader. No panic. I didn't panic. Then my players believed in me. And that was the biggest thing. When your players buy into what you're saying as a coach, man, you don't want. That's more than half the battle right there. Just the belief, the buy-in. So to be down like that, because as I'm writing the book, I'm almost done because I got a deadline. I'm trying to get it done before May 1st because I want to get it done before the seniors graduate, so I get them a copy. And
Yeah.
so that's my motivation for that project. But I'm gonna really harp on that Eastview game, because the mental toughness that you gotta have, because most teams gonna quit under pressure. They just gonna give up, say, "Oh, it's over with." I've had teams as a head coach I done coached in the past. We would have just maybe say, "Man, it's over." I don't know, but this team was different because I saw the work. So it was no moment too big for us. I felt so every time we got into situations. And this year, first year ever, and people laughed at me because I only called one timeout the entire first half. You know what I'm saying? In the entire first half, the entire year. One timeout. And that was against Veterans Memorial. One. Because the reason why, because
Okay.
we had prepared so much for moments. And I didn't want to start panic, say timeout, timeout, timeout. And
Okay. Got you, coach.
so I wanted to keep them mentally in tune, because that's something we had been doing, and I didn't want to switch
Okay.
up. So when Birdville was making that run, people say, "Oh," I say, "Nah," because the kids like, I got it, and
Yeah.
it's a trust factor. Whether or not
Yes,
sometimes
sir.
it worked more this year, it may not work next year. I may have to call 3, 4 timeouts in the first, second part. You don't know, but that was the trust that we built. You know what I'm saying? Offensively and defensively. Like in the regional finals, we playing Beaumont United. Because that was a mental hurdle getting over them, because we was on an 11-game losing streak to build Beaumont United. Since the first year of the school, we won the
Mm.
first game and they won the next 11. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So this year we won 4 games. We beat them 4 times. So this the mental shift you saw from that first game, not only offense but defense, this trust. All good defense, offense is trust. That's all it is. I trust my coach. I trust my guys on the floor. We moving as one, and we connected. And that's the thing we always preach, man. Make sure we connected, because with ball screen and stuff, you got to be connected. So those are things that they help you build when you're building your culture. You know what I mean? Mentality, offense, and defensive mentality. So I'm an aggressive guy by nature. You know what I mean? So that's my way how I love to play the game. I want an exciting, fun game to look at. You know what I mean?
Man, coach, man, you dropped so many gems, man. But the thing I love what you said, coach, man. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna get back. Look, I'm blessed every year, coach. Somebody offer me a job, coach. So
Right.
when I get back on the sidelines, coach, because you know how I go, coach. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna stay away too long, coach.
Right. Right. Right.
But what I do, no, coach, I'm there to take some of these things what you said, coach. And people don't realize, man, the serious coach, by me doing when I do these interviews, of course, like I said, I'm trying to bring, highlight, the coaches, the programs, also
Right. Right.
educate, the parents and student athletes, things like that. But coach, be honest, coach, actually I'm learning, coach, because I make sure, coach, that everybody that that I interview, coach, is just not because, oh, okay, Coach Thomas won state champion. It's people that, to be honest, coach, I've watched their programs and I really respect them. And I really, like you say, this is a way, to be honest, it's a cheat code. This is a way for me, coach, to pick y'all brain, coach.
Oh yeah.
People realize this is a way for me to pick y'all brain, man.
Nothing
But
wrong with
coach,
that.
but stuff I love you said, coach, man, is that, man, that's amazing, coach, that, and I like what you said, because consistent what you've been saying is that you didn't call no timeouts, coach, because that's not your culture. That's not what y'all been practicing, coach. That's not, the 4-minute run mentality. We, like you said earlier, You want to teach the kids how to think. So
Right.
if I'm calling timeouts, what have you, that means what you just said, Coach, I really don't trust you. I really don't think that you're thinking or whatever the case should be. So then, like you say, you already defeated because the players gonna feel like, man, Coach, we don't trust me, man. Why you calling timeout, man?
Right.
Why he ain't letting us just fight through it, whatever. And you're right, Coach. Win, lose, or draw. At the end of the day, we know, Coach, it ain't always about the wins and losses, but win, lose, or draw that game, Coach. By you trusting them, Coach, they went a far way. They went a long way, Coach, as far as the respect that y'all have for each other, and they can use that later on in life, Coach.
Yes,
Seriously.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey guys, as you can tell, man, hey, we're having a great time, man, on TaylorMade Hoops Coach's Corner, chopping up with my main man, Coach Michael Thomas. He's the head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont, Texas. He's the state championship coach. Like you said, we gonna get to that question about where some of the places he's coached at also.
Right.
So, Coach, let me ask this, Coach. Make sure I missed the question, Coach. I think I might have seen. I think, yeah, I did. Let me go back, Coach. I'm glad, man. We talking. I got so excited, got here myself. But let's backtrack, Coach, before I go on to the next question. How many years have you been coaching, Coach Thomas, and where have you coached at?
This year was year 19,
Whoa.
and I've coached at Ozen High School. I was a long-time assistant there. Then I ended up taking over the program the last 2 years of the program before the merger. Then after
Okay.
that, I took a job at Temple because I didn't get the job at Beaumont United, which was a blessing in disguise because they gave it to Coach David Green, who was an incredible coach. He's one of my influences, so I didn't mention him earlier, but
Okay.
he's one of the guys that helped me out, as far as the influence, just watching him from afar. Because he known for aggressive defense. He gonna play that dominant one, that 1-2-1-1 press, and shoot,
Yes,
you
sir.
better be ready for it. And and when they gave him that job, at first I was a little down, but I say, man, it's all about God's plan. And God
Mm-hmm.
didn't see that for me at the time. So I was grateful because going to Temple is where I actually, in my opinion, I grew as a coach. Because sometimes you kind of go in, I'm from Ozen, we got a winning tradition, and
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm gonna go do things my way. But God said, you got to sit and listen and learn because things didn't go according to plan in the beginning. So I'm for it. Like I said, I've been on both ends of the stick, getting my butt whooped. Then we was fortunate enough, after a 3 or 4 year drought of not making the playoffs at Temple. That's before I got there. I didn't make it my first year, but that second year we won 24 games, and I coached some great players. One of the guys, Quentin Johnston, he's in the NFL right now. Played with the San Diego Chargers, and guys like that, man. This coming in, believing and buying into the vision. Had some great mentors out there. Like I said, I met Karan Taylor, who graduated high school from Temple High School. He was on some great teams in the early '90s with Brian Skinner, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had a good coaching staff, man. It made me learn and trust the process even more going to Temple, and it helped me develop as a man, as a player. I mean, as a player's coach, and as a man of God, my faith and all that stuff. Like I say, I don't know if I could share the story, man. It's this the
Yeah,
kind
go
of
ahead, Coach. Hey,
yeah,
hey, you know how we do here, man.
yeah,
Hey, go ahead,
definitely.
Coach.
Now, what changed my coaching perspective? It happened in Temple High School. My third and final year. I only stayed 3 years.
Okay.
I had a young team up and coming. They was trying to learn the game, so I had kids that been in the system. But I had this young man who was there his freshman year. Then he ended up leaving and going back home to Alaska. Then
Mm.
then he came back the end of his sophomore year. So he had missed all the boot camp and all the stuff. So I really didn't get a chance to really know the kid. So coming back the end of his sophomore year, leading into the summer, he back working out with us. And we working, doing that. I'm challenged with getting on him. Now we fast forward after the summer. Let's fast forward to the preseason. So I'm getting on him, man. Just man, you got to give me more. You got to give me more. And not understand, because at that time I was only focused just on X's and O's in basketball. Just to be honest with you, I was
Okay.
just consumed with the game of basketball. I didn't take the holistic approach with each individual player to get to know them. I'm just telling you my journey as a coach, what helped me, what I'm saying,
Yes, sir.
get to this point. And I didn't realize, man, this young man was dealing with a lot of things. He was battling a lot of demons. I didn't recognize it. I didn't pay attention to the signs. So on November the 7th, I can remember that day because we was headed to, I believe, I think Veterans Memorial to scrimmage. So that's about a 2 hour 15, 2 hour 20-minute drive from Temple. And my big guy, Leon, he was best friends with the little guard. I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna spin the story back. So Leon hops on the bus like nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened. You know, I said, okay, so we get to the scrimmage. We going through the scrimmage. Blase, blase. Leon ain't giving me no energy. I'm getting on Leon. Like, man, come on, you gotta give me more. I'm getting on him. Not
Yeah.
realizing. So at the end of the scrimmage, his daddy come and say, man, you know, was Leon talking about? I said, no, sir, he was. I say, but he just not himself today. He said, Coach, man, something happened. So I'm joking with the dad. I said, okay, what he got a girl pregnant or something? He said, nah,
Yeah.
nah, nah. I say, okay, okay. He said, Coach, I'm telling you. He say, you know, Rue? I say, yeah, I know Rue. Rue is the kid that I was talking about that moved back from Alaska. That was
Yeah.
Leon's
Okay.
best friend. But
Okay.
2 weeks prior to that, Rue had quit the team because I was getting on because some things he wouldn't take care of as far as schoolwork and, you know, just not take care of his business at the school. So
Okay.
he say, Coach, I can't play for you no more because I can't live up to your standards. So he crying this. I'm like, okay, man, you know, well, I said, I'm gonna give you 24 hours, 48 hours to kind of, you know, sit on it.
Think
But it
about
was a
it. Yeah.
Friday. So Monday, his brother called his brother, say, man, look, he say, it's not gonna work, man. He dealing with a lot of things, you know, he bipolar. This is what his brother said. I said, what?
Hmm.
I said, okay. So all right, let's fast forward again to November the 7th, that day.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
night, Ramses, the kid, man, I love him to death, man. I still think about him every day. He walked in his brother's room, he shot his brother in the head and killed his brother. Okay? That's the kid that quit the team 2 weeks prior. You know what I mean?
And Coach, he shot his brother, the one who had called you, told you that he
Yeah.
had. Okay.
He killed him, shot him in the head. So I'm getting on Leon now. Let me go back to the scrimmage. So I'm getting on Leon. And Leon, that was Leon's best friend. So Leon, of course, he wasn't feeling that all that stuff happened that night when he killed his brother. Leon daddy got out the bed because he called Leon. He said, man, I'm about to kill myself. I need you to
Mm.
come get me. So Leon go get his daddy, and they jump out the bed. This at 12 at night, knowing that we got to leave at 5 in the morning. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
they jump in the car, so they driving towards him down the street. And this young man, shirt blood and all that stuff, man, he just destroyed, he just gone. Mentally done checked out. So they approach him with caution. They like, man, you know, the daddy take the gun from him, discharge or whatever, take the gun out of his hand, and they drive to the house and talking to him. Then after about 40 minutes or to an hour, man, he tell him that he killed his brother. So they bring him to the police station. He turned himself in, and he was 16 years old. So my point is, as a coach, I didn't pay attention to the signs. That's why my demeanor has changed as a coach over the years because I was so consumed with only the X's and O's. And
Mm-hmm.
that hurt me to this day. When I think about it, I say, man, I gotta learn my players more. I gotta build trust. I gotta show more compassion and love. Because again, you don't know what people dealing with, especially with this mental illness and all this new stuff coming out. So that young man, changed my life. I ain't gonna lie to you. It changed my perspective. And also that year, it was COVID. COVID was going on. You know what I
Oh
mean? So
man.
it was a lot of stuff going on in the world. So it changed my perspective of life and how I approach life nowadays. And I wanted to share that story for other coaches out there because we got to do a better job making sure that we dealing with the entire player. It's a holistic approach. We got to make sure that we connected with our players. And to me, that's real love. Honesty, you got to be honest and you got to share, you know what I'm saying, your feelings and your thoughts with these young men to help them grow because there's a lot of stuff, man, because we never dealt our generation, we never dealt with social media and all this other stuff, all this different type of pressure. So I had to reteach myself and understand and try to learn this new generation as much as possible. So that little particular situation, that's why I say Temple grew me as a man and as a coach. You know what I mean? Because I got two sons. I have a son that's 19 that graduated from Westbrook High School last year. And I have a
Okay.
10-year-old just made 10 last week. And as a man, I know I gotta do better and I gotta do more for my sons and for all these young men. You know what I mean? Because that's the problem. We're lacking strong male presence in our communities, and that's why you're seeing a lot of kids that's emotional You know what I'm saying? They lack emotional intelligence. So those are things
Mhm.
that I be harping on because of that moment. That's why I was touching on it earlier, the importance of growing young men, watering the seeds so they can grow. So that changed my life. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That young man, he called me about right after that situation happened. He called me from the juvenile detention center, and because he told the lady that Coach Thomas could speak on my character. You know what I mean? He,
Mm.
he could remember all the things. I used to get
Mhm.
on like, come on, man, you gotta do this. You better than this. You know what I mean? But I asked myself, could I have done more to pay attention more, to identify and recognize more, to help this young man before he made that decision? So those are the things that I have to live with the rest of my life as a man and as a coach. So that's why I say Temple definitely grew me. Then after Temple, I moved back to Westbrook. I moved back
Okay.
to Beaumont and I began to coach at Westbrook as an assistant. I didn't care because I needed to get back home. After COVID,
Okay.
everything got put in perspective.
I
My
got you,
mother's,
coach. Yes, sir.
yes, sir. My mother's older. She's paralyzed.
Yeah.
So my daddy need help. So, and my son, I was away from him for 3 years. So I said, I gotta get home. I gotta build that relationship. I gotta,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, connect better. So those are the things that started running through my mind when I moved back to Beaumont. Then was fortunate enough to be there with my coach who coached me. I knew he was getting close to the end of his career, and I wanted to just get the opportunity just to pick his brain every day, just to talk to him, and just to express to him how much I appreciate how he helped save my life. Because if you look at my first book, the back of my first book, it's called The Panther Mile: Chasing Perfections on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? I got a letter I wrote to my coach, a letter to my coach, and I explained all the things that I'm talking about. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because I'm a regular man who fortunate, who come from humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? Was cutting up in the system, was involved with CPS, a lot of things people don't know that helped shape and make me stronger mentally. So all I'm trying to do is shape and mold the next generation. And I don't want to harp over, keep harping on that
Oh
stuff.
no, come here, hey man,
Yeah.
look here, hey. One thing, let me tell you, man, Coach Thomas.
Uh-huh.
One thing about I tell folks all the time. One thing about this being you own your own stuff, Coach. I don't work for nobody, Coach. So hey, we can talk as long as you want to, Coach.
Yes,
Hey, this
sir.
is our show, Coach. Hey,
Yes, sir.
whatever, we good, Coach. We good,
Yes,
Coach.
sir.
We
But
don't have no time limit because no, what you doing, Coach? Be honest, Coach, man. We doing what we supposed to, Coach. You share iron sharpens iron, Coach. You share your knowledge with others, Coach, to help people
right,
better. That's what we in the business of, Coach. We in the business we in the business of helping people, be at service of people. You know that's
right,
our calling, Coach, and that's just what it is, Coach. But nah, Coach, seriously, Coach, you're absolutely right on that, Coach. That you have to get to know the player more than just X and O's. And something, Coach, to be honest, that fortunately I was blessed to learn it at an early age because the coach I played for, I played at Skyline High School with Coach J.D. Mayo. Yeah,
yeah,
So you know what Coach Mayo about? It's hardly about basketball with him. It's all about life skills and
right,
things that sort. So he would get to know. He told us that he would get to know you. He always told us, man, that life's all about relationships and communication. He always used to tell us that and what
right,
have you. And I always tell the story that back when we were growing up, before we had Call ID, Coach Thomas and all that, he coached thousands of players, but I could call Coach Mayo and no call ID, nothing like that, man. I wouldn't even say my name. I'll call I'm like, hey, how you doing, Coach Mayo? And Too Tall Taylor, what's going on? And I'm like, man, and Coach, this could be, he can coach thousands of players, man, but he
right,
still remember me or what have you. And I tell Coach Mayo I try to, man,
right,
at least once a week, pick his brain on just anything on life. But you're right, man. You got to get to know your players because, like you said, Coach, I know you be thinking about it, but sometimes in that situation, that kid was using basketball, like you say, as a tool to escape whatever he had was going on. I'm gonna
right,
come to practice, what have you, and they take me away from whatever is going on. People understand a lot of times our gym in sports is a safe haven for these kids because they got a lot of things going on at home, Coach, that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Their home life, stuff like that.
right.
And like you said, Coach, but the good thing is you acknowledge that, Coach, and like you say, you've grown from that. That's what it's all about. Like, Coach, hey, knowing that, hey, I may have could have did some things better, what have you, but but now I can use this story to share with others, Coach. That's what it's all about, Coach. No
Yes,
doubt,
sir.
man. Well, hey, for my viewers that's tuning in, you can tell we having a great time. Got Coach Michael Thomas on, who's the head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont, Texas, state championship coach. Just realized a two-time author. And definitely, as you can tell, man, a leader of men, and also, like you said, he's bigger than basketball with him. He's definitely a role model, definitely an influencer, a gatekeeper for our young men. No doubt about that, Coach. I'm glad, man. That's why I love doing the shows, man. Get to know
Right.
you guys, man. Uh, Coach, well, let me ask this, Coach. We go move back to the championship season. I know you're humble, Coach, but hey, we got to talk about it, Coach.
Oh yeah, you got
Uh,
to.
yeah. It's something you said too, Coach. It's funny you said that people listen to you more, Coach, because you won. You got that state championship behind you,
Yeah, that voice get a
behind
little
that.
louder.
What you say? But you been preaching the same thing, but now they listen a little bit more. Because I guess they think, oh, he know what he's talking about. He
Right.
didn't know what he's talking about.
You're right about that.
Well, Coach, take us through this year's championship season. What were some of the highs and lows of the season, and how did you and your coaching staff keep the players focused, Coach Thomas?
Okay. I'm gonna bring you all the way back to the announcement.
Okay.
Okay, the announcement was on the official announcement was April 18th. And I kept this is God untruth. I kept waking up every morning at 4:18. And I'm like, what's going on? 4:18. I dreamed about it. I wake up at 4:18. So I'm big on, numbers. So I've been getting to look
Okay.
up the numbers. When I looked up the numbers, 48, my fault. It was 4:18. When I began to look up the numbers, it was talking about it's a shift in your life about to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's a major change for the better. That's what it kept telling me. I woke up for 2 straight weeks. But
Mm,
also on that day, 418. That's April 18, I believe, right? Okay,
hmm
April 18. That's a Thursday. And on Thursdays, that's when board meetings happen. And that's when they officially
hmm
announced me as the head coach on April 18th. It's funny. But on that day forward, when I met with the kids, I shared after I was announced the head coach, I met with the kids, I shared the vision. I say, this is what I want to do. I want to win a state championship. I say, but we have to do some things differently. I say we got to change some things that we've been doing over the past years. Culturally, we got to change. We got to have a mind shift. So I asked them, I say, what the theme, what y'all want for the theme this year? They say, I say, man, let's do it for the West Side. I said, okay. Then one of the coach said, yeah, the West Side. And so I began to research the West Side, and I begin to research the concept, and I come across North Shore football. They do it
mm.
for the East Side. And I said, okay, they're a 5-time state champion. So I love the mentality. I said, okay, let's incorporate this. And so we kind of took that and ran with it. Then Coach Chris Ballin, he's an up and coming, assistant coach. That's going to be a incredible head coach one day, young man. He got a lot of knowledge, a lot of energy. And he say, we got to create this mentality called 1-0. It's a cultural thing. 1-0. Either you're gonna go 1-0 on the day or you're gonna go 0-1. You gotta win the day every day. And that's just the mindset. Because we might be in practice and the guy, he ain't he ain't running a sprint hard. We like, you lost today. Because mentally you checked out. You didn't sell out for your brother. So that begin to resonate throughout the program with the kid. Oh, dang, we went 1-0 today, coach. We 1-0 today. So we didn't look forward to the next day to say, okay, we on a 27 game win streak that's late on in the season. Now we say, we want to know every day. So we've been preaching that mentality, that mindset since day one. Okay. Then we really didn't focus on, you know what I mean? In the beginning, a lot of X's and O's. We focus more so on the mindset. You know what I'm saying? Getting the mind strong, getting the body stronger. And that's why when we went to the U of H camp, we didn't do very well. This some of the lows. We got beat by 40 playing Shadow Creek. And I'm gonna get
Mm.
back to Shadow Creek in a few minutes. We got beat by 40 out the gate because we had beat Shadow Creek in the playoffs the previous year, 50-36. So they had it on their mind. They gonna prove that they could beat Westbrook because we was in 6A. And we beat them in the
Oh,
second
okay.
round. So when we beat them in the second round of the playoffs, they felt a certain way. But the new guys, because a lot of those guys was on the bench and they was JV guys. This team right here, people don't realize that a lot of those guys didn't play. Only 2 guys played significant minutes the year before. Everybody else on JV was on the bench. All right. So they Shadow Creek approached that game with a sense of, urgency, like it was a playoff game, but we didn't match that intent. So man, them jokers came out firing on all cylinders. hitting threes, man, playing hard, playing defense. They beat us by 40 points. You know what I mean? So we went 1-2 in that in the U of H thing. Then we go to the TABC, you know what I'm saying, showcase the following week. And I'm like, dang, boy, we getting blasted. You know, of course, people question, they like, man, I don't know. I don't know. But the TABC, that was the first time that I could officially coach on that sideline. So of course you heard the chatter. You know, I always talk about, everybody say, man, is he gonna play that Butte ball? And I hate when people say that because they think Coach Butte, he slow the game down and do all that stuff. He full corner spread game. So some people would question that. And but like I told the person, I say, look, man, this man done won 80% of his games, over 700,
Yes, sir.
over 700 wins, 740 to be exact, with
100, coach.
three state
Yeah.
championships. I say if I can even get close to that, I'm a
Man.
Hall of Famer. But that's just how people think, you know. So,
Man.
and they was like, okay, is Mike gonna have his own unique style? I'm a combination of a lot of these men. So when we went to TABC, you know, we come out, we get punched in the mouth the first half. We down 30-5 playing Stony Point. You know, Stony Point come to an end. We made a run, we cut it down to 11, but mentally we wasn't there. So of course I'm questioning myself along the way, like, man, dang, do I need to focus more on the X's and O's or trust the process? You know what I mean? Trust the process with the, you know, mentally you training, physically you training. We haven't gotten the X's and O's yet. Okay, but we end up finishing 1-2. The only team we beat in TABC was Denton Guyer that just won state championship in 6AD2. That's the only team we beat. I think that coach from East Chambers right up the road from me. You know what I mean? And so moving forward, after that, I met with the seniors along with the other coach. We put together a leadership council. You know what I mean? I stole that from a good friend. He's the new head coach at Timberview football. Jacoby. What's good?
I know you're talking about, Coach. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Matter of fact, he came from my alma mater. He came from Skyline.
Came from Skyline. That's
Yeah,
my guy.
yeah, I know you're talking about, Coach. Yes, sir.
I'm running his last name, but I call him Jacoby. That's you
Yeah,
know,
me too,
I,
Coach.
yeah, because I asked him. I say, man, you know, I reached out to him through one of my coaches. You know, that was his childhood best friend growing up. So I know he would have a leadership meeting. I say, man, how do you do it? What he said? I meet every Monday morning. I want to feel a pulse of the program. So those guys are in the locker room. Okay, what you think? Can I do something different? So I begin to trust and build trust. 6 a.m. meetings once a week. Every Monday morning we meeting. We just talking about the vision. The vision. I think it's very important that you gotta keep bringing up the vision. Okay. Now after that, we started grinding in the summer. You know, in the summer. Then we said, okay, we gonna create what we call a fall basketball league. I know they do it in Dallas, they do it in Houston, but that was the first of its kind last year. We did it at Westbrook. You had Kunks in it, you had BU in it. It's all the top teams in it. Port Arthur in it. So it was a very, very competitive league, man. And I thought it helped everybody out. And you had two eventual state champions come out of that fall league with Kunks and ourselves. And so that helped out. But we continued our leadership stuff every Monday morning just to get feedback from those guys. Then now we going into the Super 16 with Jim Hicks. I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Hicks. That's my guy.
Come on, now. The
Yeah, I
legend,
already
baby.
know.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're going into the Super 16. So out the gate we got Dickinson. They real good, man. Coach is a great coach over there, man. He got a competitive program. He was in he made it to the state level, but he didn't get a chance to play the game because it was during the COVID year. And
Yeah.
okay, so with him, man, we beat them out the gate. It was a tough, grinded out game. Cool. Bam. Then we play a very talented St. Francis team who won the TAPS 4A state championship this year. You know, they got 4 or 5 D1 guys, man.
Yes,
So
sir.
that game right there, we came out and I mean, we brought that grit and that grind. And for me as a coach, I said, okay, man, we might have a chance. So I turned to one of my assistant coaches, man, Coach Rouse. I said, you think we can win? I said, you think we can win it all? How good you think we be? He said, Coach, if we stay focused like this, I think we can win it all. I said, really? I said, okay, this before the actual regular season. All right. Then all the way up. Then we played Fort Bend Marshall in the game before the semifinals.
It's my guy, Coach Courtney, baby.
Yeah, man. You know, I always tell them my senior year, I know they was 38-0. We beat them in that scrimmage. Beaumont Ozen, we was 36-0 the year. You know, TJ Ford and them, we beat them,
Yes,
but
sir.
yeah,
Those you
but
and them boys. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
But that game right there showed me a lot too, because that game, we ended up winning that game 31-28. This the defensive grind. It was like an old Big East, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
battle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at that, I said, okay, dang. Then after that, we beat Ridge Point. They're very good top 25 program. Then the final game, we was out of gas. We played 4 games that Sunday. You know what I mean? We played Atascocita, which has been the standard in Houston, Texas. You know what I mean? The greater Houston
Mm-hmm.
area. As far as
Mm-hmm.
Coach Martinez does a great job, defensive, offensive, flow. I've taken some things from him. And so we end up losing to them. But I say, man, we might be able to do something, because I'm looking at some of the things that we've been working on since the summer. You know what I'm saying? Since we lost in TABC, I'm looking at all the stuff we've been talking about. This the aggressive stuff we've been working on, the defensive concepts. I said, okay, we might be able to put something together. So now I'm gonna speed this thing up. So now, you know what I'm saying? Let's fast forward to Shadow Creek again. We scrimmaged them.
Oh,
Remember they
yep.
beat us by 40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They beat us by 40. But this time was different. When we got to this scrimmage, and they was preseason top 5 and 6A. They got 2 high major kids. They got one kid going U of H, very talented
Mm-hmm.
kid, 6'5". But we came out there with a different type of, aggression, different type of focus. And I thought, to me, that set the tone for the season, because this team beat us by 40. And so when we got in this game, man, we came out aggressive, playing defense, good ball movement, and we was fortunate enough we was able to win that scrimmage. And I thought that propelled us into the regular season. We beat Seven Lakes the first game, beat them by double digits, and this moving forward, man. And that was some of the highs early in the season, and I thought, for me, the low is 2 lows in the season.
Okay.
When we lost to Bush, Fort Bend Bush, I felt as a coach I didn't do a good enough job preparing my guys, because they beat us with that chin series with Princeton. So that's what I've been studying all off season. Princeton chin series, not to put it in my pack so I can know how to defend it better. So,
Okay.
so I felt like I didn't prepare the guys well enough. So, and we wasn't focused mentally, because just a Thanksgiving break, guys wasn't locked in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and just some things like that. As a coach, I said, okay, I got to do better to make sure I maintain the focus. And we lost that game by 8. Then fast forward to, I'm just highlighting some high points throughout the season. Now fast forward to the YMBL tournament championship. Now we playing Beaumont United. We on 11-game losing streak, and
Mm.
they the big brother of the city when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
basketball. So we've
Mm-hmm.
been chasing them. They've been the standard in Southeast Texas. They went to 4 consecutive state title
Yes,
games.
sir.
4 consecutive state tournaments, and so we get into that game. Right before the game, I say, man, when the coach look at it, he say, man, let's wear these red jerseys. And we ain't broke the red jerseys out all year. So we said, all right, cool. So we walked out of the locker room, because we at home. It was at home, the
Okay.
YMBL tournament. So it was at Westbrook. So we walk out of the back locker room with the red jersey. Everybody in the crowd kind of looked like, oh, okay, dang, what's going on? So to me, it created that swagger, that mentality. Like, okay, now you gotta first believe you could be somebody, because they
Yes,
had a
sir.
psychological, chokehold on us over the last 6 years. We haven't beaten these
Yeah.
people in 6 years. Then that first quarter, we came out on fire, man. I'm talking about step back threes. It was crazy. I'm like, I know I ain't draw this up. We up 20-7 at the end of the first. Then the second quarter, we kind of got back to reality. And it was end up being up 3 at the half, 28-25. And but we was fortunate enough to win that game. I think after we won, to me, that was the moment. That was the defining moment in the season where I knew that we had the opportunity to be really, really good. You know what I mean? And because we won the YMBL championship for the first time in 27 years, even though it's been in our home city since
Yeah.
1997. So it was
Mm.
a lot of firsts this year that happened. Then I thought that game right there, that was the moment I felt like I said, okay, we moving in the right direction. Then after that, we would go on a 27-game win streak. A 27-game win streak. And on senior night, we had some unfortunate things. Just the number 2 thing I told you that was the low point of the season. On
Okay.
senior night, we playing Baytown Sterling. And Baytown Sterling very competitive. Coach does a good job. The first time we played them at their place, it was freezing, man. It was cold. And we beat them people, I think, 64-57. It was a tight game. We had to pull away at the end. It's conference play, so you got to come play every night.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So and they was kind of talking a little noise. Man, we're gonna do XYZ. So we had circled this day on our calendar. It was on our
Okay.
mind. So when we played them, to me, that was the best brand of basketball we had played all year long. Man, we up in the third quarter. We up in the third quarter with about 17 seconds left in the quarter. We up 64-20, 22. All right. We up 6. We press. I'm talking about ball movement, everybody flowing. All right. 17 seconds left. All right. So we had a situation where one of our players, he going back and forth with the other player. The other player kept elbowing him. He elbowed him 7 times when you watch the film. Elbowed him 7, and the referee would not do anything. And my kid told the referee, say, man, can you stop this kid from doing this? This kid did it all the way, because they were shooting free throws at the free throw line, all the way down to the other line, baseline to baseline. He did it for 94 feet, plus he got back to half court. And when he hit him that last time, it was the fight. The kid, I feel like he was protecting himself. That was his mindset. So naturally, instinctively, the kids, because it was the end of the quarter. And you naturally you get up, right? You know what I'm saying? So the kids got up and they said, oh Lord, the kid fighting. So the kids ran off the bench. You know what that means when it comes to UIL. They ran off the bench and grabbed the kid and stopped him from fighting. Nobody threw a punch. It was no brawl or nothing like that. You know what I mean? We ended the game in the third quarter because we was up so much. The coach said, Coach, we could just end the game. Y'all up. Y'all beating our tails. All right. So after that, UIL came in. We had to suspend 8 guys. 8 guys.
Wow.
Yes. So that's a UIL rule. As soon as you one step off the bench,
Yep.
one game automatic, 1 game suspension. And because the other guys didn't throw no punch or nothing like that, they was going to diffuse the situation. And they did a great job, man. I commend them, because it could have easily been crazy and could have messed the season up. You know what I mean? If everybody started fighting a brawl. But from there, I had to suspend 8 guys. And so I had to go to JV and grab 6 players. And we going into Port Arthur Memorial, who was a top 25 5A team. And we had beaten them twice that year. Earlier we had beaten them twice. So they had to circle on their calendar, man. We about to beat Westbrook. So we went grab 6 JV guys. With those 6 JV guys, man, they fought their butt off. I thought that game brought us closer together after that moment. Because they saw how them young guys fought. They wasn't physically ready. Just like I had to go grab a lot of sophomores. You know what I mean? So don't be surprised next couple of years you be hearing about some of these sophomores. You know what I mean? But I had to grab them guys, man. They went inside Port Arthur, which is a tough place to play in. And man, we it's a ball game. It's 43-39 with 3 minutes left in the game. And we had the opportunity to get a steal. It's a 3-on-1, but one of my kids, he chose to pull up for a 3 because he thought he was playing for Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry. I don't know. But it's all good. But what I'm saying? Would have cut it down.
He's a young fella, Coach.
So I ain't get mad at him. But after that, man, they was fighting. They was competitive. And I think the other guys, they traveled. They had to sit behind the bench and they cheering like they was the biggest cheerleaders that night. And I thought that brought the team closer together. You know what I mean? To me, that's one of the defining moments in our season. And when that happened, man, I told the guys, say, man, we just got to win. Let me see. We had 1, 2. I said we got to go 8-0 because we had 2 district games remaining. We had Barbers Hill, who was that was a top 25 team, and they beat some really good teams. North Crowley early in the year, and then we had BU, the final district game. You know what I'm saying? So after that, we won. Then, man, leading into that playoffs, we had to play a tough Angleton team. Man, man, because when they came to the YMBL, a lot of their guys was in football because they made it to the state semis. So their full team wasn't there when they played Beaumont United. So when we played them, they got them 2 brothers, man. One is a freshman, one's a senior. Guards, man, that joke we was playing good defense, but they was hitting all kind of contests. Man, we was down the entire game. Coach did a good job packing the lane in, played 2-3 zone, and he controlled tempo. We couldn't really turn them over, but at the end, we was down 10. We was down 10. We had a lot of situations throughout the playoffs. That's why I talk that grit and that mentality come in. And we was able to go on, I think, a 12-0 run to win that game. All right, this is the first round. Okay. Then fast forward to that third round, that regional semifinals, because we beat Huntsville pretty good in that second round. But that third round, Eastview had two really, really good players, man. They had a little point guard about 5'8", explosive, jumping out the gym, dunking that thing. Then you had a 6'4" hybrid forward. He could handle it, shoot it, kind of like a LeBron type. So that always creates a difficult matchup because you don't know whether or not to put a big guy on him, a smaller guy.
Oh,
He
small
posts
guy.
up. So
Mm-hmm.
man, we got down. Like I say, it's 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in that game. We down 11, and just the grit. I'm looking at guys started making plays because when them guys came to the bench out after that, it was a defining moment in that game. The point guard gets a steal. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. He attempts to dunk it. He missed the dunk. Hangs on the
Okay.
rim. Technical foul. Okay, we make both free throws. We was down 11, make both free throws. Then we come back and make a bucket. Terry Satcher hit a sidestep 3. Number 3, he been big for us. He's another all-stater that we're going to miss dearly. He had a big shot. Then they started locking up. Like I say, you can see the mentality. You can see the shift. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can see the momentum shift in the game. And I'm just telling guys, believe, trust the process. We've been here before. This is our training. You got to trust your training. Nobody train harder than us. So those are the things that we've been instilling. All right. So we was fortunate to end that game on a 15-0 run. You know, Elijah Garrett, I think he might have scored 12 points in that or 11 points in that fourth quarter. You know what I mean? He had a moment where he put us on his back. He was going back to back hitting shots, man. Shot after shot. Big time player make big time plays. And I always tell him that. I say greatness never get tired. Good players get tired, but great players, they never get tired. They're gonna find a way, they're gonna make it work. They're gonna figure out a way to make it work. Then, you know, I
Yes,
already
sir.
talked about Veterans Memorial going into that game. You know, everybody like man, they gonna beat y'all. They the number one offensive team in the state of Texas, averaging 85 points a game. Then the mistake they made, one of their players, he texts my number 5 because they played on JL3 together. He texts.
Okay. Okay.
He say, quote, he say, y'all won tonight? My player say, yeah. He said, good. He say, man, y'all had a good season because Tuesday gonna be this is gonna be your last game. Boy, why he did that? When he did
Hey,
that,
coach. Hey, coach. Bulletin board material, coach.
man,
Bulletin
what you think I did? I printed it out.
yeah.
I put it on everybody's locker. And that game, to me, that was the most focused we were all year. You know what I'm saying? As a team, we came in and say, we're gonna punch them in the mouth early. And I kept preaching, you got to bring them to the dark place. Because when I was doing my research, they never trailed after any quarter the entire year. Not
Okay.
one time. So after we had a lead after that first quarter, I say, man, okay, this unfamiliar territory. Then going into the halftime up double digits, they panicking. So in my mind, I said, okay, we got them doing something that they not comfortable doing. Now they out of their comfort zone. Now they gotta scramble. They gotta do this. And you know, so I thought that was the most complete game for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, in my opinion, you know, as a team, offensive and defensive, because I think we ended up beating them 67-51. We held them to a season low 51 points. They averaged 85 points a game. And I truly believe that defense win championships. And it was very evident, you know, that particular night. Then, you know, so and fast forward, you know, headed to San Antonio. We've been preaching this the entire year because I did a slideshow, a Google slide presentation at the beginning of the year, and to the entire team. I say you got 138 days before March 8th, 3 p.m. 100. I still had a Google slide. Think sometimes you got to manifest things. You got to speak things into existence. So we begin to count down. We got 62 days to March 8th, 3 p.m. We got 21 days, March 8th, 3 p.m. Then Friday before we left, Coach Butte came spoke with the guys, just talking about being focused. Don't allow distractions to hurt the team. Make great decisions. Be a team. Do what you've been doing. Trust the process. Then on that Friday, I told him, I say, nah, it's one day. You got 1 day left, March 8th, 3 p.m. So we started at 138 days. You know, I can show it to you, man. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Because now leading to the Birdville game, I tell you, I be dreaming. I be having them visions. So I had a vision about 4 months prior. I shared it with my assistant coach, Joshua Lamb. That's my media guy, my social media guy, man. He phenomenal. All that content, it's definitely him. It ain't me, you know.
Okay.
So I got to give him
Gotcha.
respect and props for it. And I say, man, he say, I had a dream about us winning the championship. I said, I had a dream too. I say, man, I had a blue suit on. with a white shirt and a red tie. I swear to God. I told him that. He said, really? So championship day, I told the coaches, I said, man, my young coach, he said, man, what you wearing? I said, I'm wearing a blue suit with a white shirt and red tie. Everybody said, we all gonna wear it. I swear. So that's what happened. That's why we came out in those suits. And
Yeah.
I had a vision about this 4 months prior. And I shared it with Joshua Lane. He's my witness. He'll tell you. So leading into the Birdville game, and I knew there was a very talented team. Man, coach is an excellent coach. I've been watching them over the last 3 or 4 years. They've been knocking on the door. You know, some really good players, a couple of D1 players. And so I said, okay.
Coach, not because y'all, man, I saw them play because they beat one of my good friends, son played for Frisco Heritage.
Oh, yeah.
They beat him the round prior. And man, when I saw them on film, coach, man, what made them so tough to me, coach, is that size and length, coach. Everybody's about 6'3", 6'4". They got
Oh,
guys
yeah.
6'6", but coach, they all are highly skilled. And I told folks, coach, that what surprised me about them coaches that they weren't, as far as defense wise, for his foot speed, they weren't the quickest, but they understood angles, coach.
Man,
And they know how to, and they know how to use that length, coach. Even though they might not be the fastest, but they know how to
right.
use that length, know how to use them angles, coach. Man, that was a tough win, coach. That was a good win.
Yeah.
That's a good team, coach. Birdville's a good team, coach.
Yeah. So coming out early, I thought, man, we played a great first half because I had scouted them, looked at some of their offensive schemes. Because they were similar to me. They were similar to Barbers-Hill. Barbers-Hill had
Okay.
they had a 6'9" kid and a 6'7" kid. And how they played. Same offensive scheme, some Princeton stuff. I told you that Chin series, they bothered me all year long. So they ran some Princeton stuff, some quick hitters, some backdoor stuff. And I thought we did a great job in the first half. Leading into that third quarter, man, we up 38-20. And I think we was up 18. We kind of got relaxed. I got relaxed as a coach. I said, okay, yeah, about to do it. Oh yeah. So in my mind, and then that team, coach made some good adjustments over there. Coach, phenomenal coach. And they began to make a run, knocking down shots. Big boy started taking over the game, hitting threes, taking them off the dribble. Man, he was looking like Larry Bird out there. I was like, wow.
He can play, coach. He can play.
I was beginning to question myself. I'm going back to not calling timeouts. You know,
Okay.
but I didn't call a timeout until the fourth quarter. I don't know if people realize that. People like, you should have. I say, I know I should have, but I was already in my head, like, these are the things that I have been doing all year long, and I didn't want to deviate from that.
There you go,
What I mean?
coach.
I didn't want to create panic. Even though, it's questionable, but it ended up working this year. I'm fortunate it worked this year. You know what I mean? But, man, just watching that lead, shrink. Then also them taking a 2-point lead, and how the guys responded. Because I call a timeout, talking to them, how they responded and how they mentally locked in, was able to execute. We got a bucket. Our MVP, Elijah Garrett, he got a bucket, tied the game up. Then we going into overtime. Then I tell you, now this brings us back to the moment I was talking about at the beginning of the show. I told them championship running. This is what we've been training for. We've been here before. And I say, you don't want it no other way. It's for all the marbles. This is what you want. It's a dog fight. It's a heavyweight fight. It's a championship fight. So we go out there. We give up 1 point in overtime off a free throw. And one of the timeouts, because the big boy was killing. And both our big boys fouled out. So Terry Satchel Jr., number 3, you know what I mean? He say, Coach, I'm guarding him. He didn't ask me. He told me. He said, I'm guarding him. He said he will not score. And when I tell you that boy, that last minute or so put on the defensive clinic, I'm talking about he got the big steal on the baseline because of his film study, because they've been running a certain play, you know what I'm saying, out of bounds play. So he read it and cut through it and got the steal on the sideline. So those are the things that got me excited, because guys made plays. They wanted it so bad, because when you're doing something for the first time, it's nothing before you to follow. You know what I mean? So you become the standard. You set the standard forever. BU been doing it over there but they on the other side of town, and we respect everything they did. But like I told the guys, it's our time this year, and those guys went out there and did it. I was fortunate to be able to coach them guys, and just to be a part of something special. And with all the coaches I work with, this year, man, phenomenal guys, man. I want to shout them out real quick. I got Michael Rouse. I've been around him 31 years, since I was in 6th grade. He was my coach one of my coaches, Michael 48. They call him 48. He was one of my coaches. So I want to shout him out because sometimes people don't get their flaws. He like a Tex Winters. You know how Tex Winters never became a head coach?
Yeah, coach.
But he like that. He a Hall of Fame caliber coach who don't get
Yeah.
the respect that he deserves. So, of course, I gotta respect him. I gotta point that out. Then I got Chris Ballany, man, the young coach. He gonna be an exceptional head coach coming up. I'm telling you, young man, family man of God. That's what you need leading your program. Then I got Joshua Lamb. He one of the greatest men I've been around. I'm talking about solid, loyal. He believed in me before I believed in myself as the head. He said, man, you gonna be the head coach next year. He telling me this last year when I was the assistant. He said, because we knew Coach Butte was retiring. He said, you gonna be the head coach. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you that dude. You need hype men in your life. I say, all right, I appreciate you. Thank you. Then you had one of my main guys, Keena Young. He was on the state championship team at Beaumont Ozen. One of my
Oh,
team.
y'all teammates together.
Oh yeah. He
Oh,
went
man.
oh man, he went to BYU. And he was the conference player of the year at BYU. You know what I mean? So we talking about you got a big time player on your staff. Then you got a guy that I coached, Calvin Tyler Jr. He was a running back at Oregon State. He rushed for over 7,000 yards, I believe, in Texas. You know what I'm saying? As a high school player, I think 6,000 yards, close to 7,000 yards. But
Yeah.
these are the guys that came back and said, Coach, I wanna work with y'all. I want to help. Because
Wow.
he volunteered all year long. Because
Wow.
he came in late, you know what I'm saying? He got hired later on in the year. And he said, Coach, man, can I said, man, what you mean? Can you help? Yeah, boy, come on. That's my
Yeah.
dude. So
Yeah.
he was able to bring that young energy that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
too old. I'm 43 years old, but he was able to bring that young energy. And
But coach, because you're a vet, you've been doing it for a long time. You
been
know,
doing a
the
long
coach
time.
here is wrong. You coach, hey, coach, you're 43, but sometimes your body feel like a 63, coach.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. But he brought that swag, that young swag.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
really know too much about that swag. They trying to get me out of my comfort zone, but he brought that young swag. Him and the final coach is Coach Cole Malloy. And he's a first year coach, 22, 23 years old, and
Okay.
just graduated from Prairie View A&M. Bring a lot of energy every day, man. Just a lot of positive energy. Just a positive dude. He graduated from Westbrook High School, I believe, in 2019, and
Okay.
so he was on the state team, football state team in 18.
Okay.
2018 when they lost to Longview.
Okay.
Okay, in the state finals. And he was one of the starters on that team, and he would share his championship experience with the kids of not winning it and the things that hurt the team from not winning. So you needed all those different experiences, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
to pour into these young men. So they heard every story. I don't know. I gotta find some new stories for next year. They done heard every story known to man. But shout out all the players, man. Just the hard work, the trainers, the athletic trainers, the Brandon Lopez, guys like that. We got one of our female trainers, Jordan Hemker. She the MVP. She got guys healthy, speedy recoveries, man, all kind of things, man. She brought all the new technology, man, with the legs and the normal tech and all that stuff. She brought that to the state championship along the entire journey. Just her, just the folks you need, and basically what I'm saying, you need everything working together with the administrative staff, man. They were phenomenal. Kevin Johnson, he over athletics on our campus. Mr. Nick Phillips, who believed in me, who gave me the opportunity, the principal. He didn't have to say I want to hire Michael Thomas, but he chose
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, the superintendent, I got to shout all my people out. The superintendent, man, Dr. Allen, she believed in me. She shared the vision because she was a superintendent when I didn't get the job at Beaumont United. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it's a full circle moment, and she believed in me. She say, I'm proud of you, things like that. It make me excited because you believe in the hometown guy, and it's for me. It's for the next generation of young coaches that come behind me. So I got to do it right. I got to set the standard. I got to be professional. I can't fall off because I'll mess it up for the next generation behind me. They might say I don't want to hire a young coach because
One coach. Yep.
okay. So
Yep.
you got to understand there's a lot of responsibility that comes with this position.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Prudham, this the lady that hired me at Ozen High School when nobody wanted to give me that opportunity. She saw something in me. You know what I'm saying? It was unforeseen circumstance that happened that forced me into that position, and she believed in me. So I'm forever grateful to her and all the people like that. My parents, my mother, my father. I love them. They've given me so much. They poured so much into me, and it's a full community deal, man. And we trying to help as many people as we can, and we're gonna keep sharing the story. You know what I mean? So I appreciate your time having me on the show. Cause I know I'm long-winded sometimes. I can talk,
Oh, no, you
but
good,
I get
coach. You
excited
good.
about it. Yes, sir.
No, coach. No, coach. Coach, I'm the same way, coach. And one of my good friends told me, I remember I was on an interview one day in small world, you know how I go, coach. You gotta have people support you. Ain't what you know, it's who you know. But I was interviewing for a job one day. One of my, not just one of my friends, but one of my childhood friends. We grew up on the same street, all that. And he was on the panel, didn't know it. And so it was funny. After they had hired me or whatever, he had me laugh. He said, yeah, Ed, he said, man, when we went another talk or whatever, he said they was like, man, Mr. Taylor, man, he sure talks a lot with him. He said, man, he said, but I had to tell him, hey, that's passion. That's passion. He's passionate. He's
You right about
passionate.
that. You right about
That's
that.
passion, coach. That's passion, coach.
Yes,
But
sir.
coach, let me ask this, coach. Do you have any added pressure next season going into games, being the defending state champions, coach?
For me, there's always pressure. I put probably more pressure on myself to be a better man, be a better coach. And I don't really look at pressure like that. You can look at pressure two ways, man. Pressure produces diamonds. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of it. Or you could let pressure, you know what I'm saying, allow you to crack and fold under pressure. You know what I'm saying? So I look at pressure from a positive standpoint. I love it because I'm chasing the process. I'm not really chasing championships. I'm
Okay.
falling in love with the process every year. You know what I mean? I fall in love with it over and over. I get excited about a new group, trying to shape and mold them to become champions. And so it's not necessarily pressure for me because there's so much stuff going on in this world. You know what I mean? Like I talked about earlier, with my mother being sick, paralyzed, and things
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
So it puts life
Hmm.
into perspective. And the story I share about the young man,
Hmm.
that killed his brother. That put my life into perspective, and I appreciate certain things. So I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I just try to stay
Hmm.
even keel, and just keep enjoying life. The life too short to be stressing over some things. You know what I mean? You gotta love life, you gotta enjoy, you gotta try to help and touch as many people as possible.
You're right about that, coach. You're right about that. Well, hey, for my viewers tuning in, greatly appreciate Coach. I got Coach Michael Thomas on. He's the head coach at Westbrook High School in Beaumont, Texas. They're the Class 5A Division One state champions. Coach, man, as you can tell, man, a wonderful guy. More than just a basketball coach. More than a basketball coach. Well, Coach, I have to ask this question, but I kind of already know the answer. But are the team expectations and goals the same for next season, Coach?
Oh, most definitely, no doubt. We know we're gonna have to work even harder because when you get to that level, it's gonna be a bullseye on your back, and it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a different amount of pressure for not only myself, the kids, the community, the school, the expectation. Everybody wants you to win. They expect you to win because you did it last year. But of
Yeah.
course, we working even harder. We training harder, and that's the mentality that I wanna leave. You know what I'm saying, with these young men at the school. The freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors.
Hmm.
And it can happen. You saw it happen. So don't think it can't happen. I told you first, it first starts in your mind. You gotta see it first,
Hmm.
you gotta believe it. And once you believe it, sky's the limit. And that's the thing that I've been trying to get across to these young men. But man, I'm excited about, what I'm saying, the upcoming season with those guys. I think we could be pretty good. If we stay healthy, as God bless us with good health and stuff like that, we could be extremely good. I believe it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now y'all be pretty good, man. Uh, most definitely on that, Coach. Because like you say, man, you got that established culture, or what have you. Like you say, well, Coach, like you say, it's like a well-oiled machine, Coach.
Mhm.
You got it going, Coach. Well, Coach, man, as you can tell, Coach, man, hey, seriously, Coach, you're not long-winded, Coach. I appreciate talking with you, Coach, man. Like I said, man, good thing about, man, you own your own stuff, Coach. You can do what you want to do, Coach. So we can talk all day about whatever you want
Yes,
to,
sir.
Coach. But Coach, so we know, Coach, man, that you know that you're a team guy, thanks that short. But we know at the end of the day, Coach, in the social climate that we live in today, that everybody is trying to get a scholarship. Every parent feel they baby can play at the next level. So, Coach, tell us who are some tailor-made picks? Who are some players that you feel have the attributes and skill level to play at the next level? Who are some players that you feel these college coaches need to be putting on their radar that you got in your program, Coach?
I'm gonna start with my seniors first.
Okay.
We have Terry Satch. He's already committed. He's going to Colorado College,
Okay.
and he's already a great player, all-stater. Then we got Dylan Dotson. Dylan Dotson is a 6'1" combo guard who could shoot and handle it. As you saw, he knocked down 19 points in the state finals. Sharpshooter, could handle it, shoot it, and I think coaches they sleeping on him. He got some junior college offers and some stuff like that. Some looks people been inquiring about him. I think he had 4 or 5 offers on the junior college and NAIA level, but he deserved more recognition. Then you got Jacob Babineau, a 6', 6'1" lockdown defender. I call him the glove. Man, he's a
Mm.
point guard. He can handle the ball. Incredible IQ. He get with the right situation. I'm telling you, I think this kid could be a big time player. You know what I'm saying? I really believe it because I'm looking at his mindset, how he train, how he think the game. He can shoot the basketball, and he's only gonna get better. Put him in the right situation. Jacob Babineau. Then you have Seth Bonarise. Seth Bonarise, he's about 5'9", sharp shooter, can shoot that thing, man. I'm talking about he made over 100 career 3-pointers at Westbrook High School. Can handle that ball. He was a high skilled guy. I'm telling you, you put him in the right situation. He got a few offers, some junior college, some mid-major, some stuff like that I think is gonna play big for him. Then you got my other big guy, Derek Daigle. Seen by 6'5", 6'6". He got some junior college offers, some people looking at him that want him to go. I think he got a chance to be real good. He really haven't tapped into his full potential because he can shoot the ball, got a nice touch. Once he get that handle and all that stuff really down, man, I'm telling you, he gonna be a diamond in the rough. Then you got Tevion Johnson, about 6 foot. He can handle the basketball. He like the Draymond Green type. He a little on the side. He can handle. He can shoot the three. He tough as nails. Those are the guys that I think you win with guys like that in your program. They are winners. You know what I mean? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we look at can he do X, Y? No, they are winners. That's a skill set. Being a
It
winner.
is, coach.
Okay. Then you got another kid, man. He didn't get a lot of playing time because we had a deep team, but man, he's 6 foot guard, Jonas Smith. He's very intelligent. He's a high major kid when it comes to academics. He's probably
Okay.
he's gonna go into he's gonna go major in computer science. And kid could potentially play at the next level if he choose to. Then
Okay.
of course you got the younger guys, Elijah Garrett, big time player. I think he's gonna start getting more recognition on the national level. Man, 6'3", he's big, he's taller than what people think. He's about 6'2", 6'3". He got like a 6'4", 6'5" wingspan. He can do everything, scoring all 3 levels. Awesome. Then you got the 6'7", 6'8" baby. He's a sophomore. That's that sophomore group I was saying about earlier. Austin Stewart, he started for us this year. And
Mm.
that's the big kid with the dreads, with that, he can play,
Mm-hmm.
man. I think he gonna tap into something that people haven't seen on the skill level. I'm looking at like a small forward, a hybrid four, can handle it, shoot it. And he could go at multiple positions as a 10th grader. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Then you got some up and coming kids that I think you're gonna be looking out for. A Richard Smith, young sophomore, by 6'2", 6'3", can shoot the rock. That's one of the kids I'll tell you about when we played Port Arthur. He had 14 in that Port Arthur game, straight off of JV. He stepped in
What's
like
good?
he wasn't scared. He stepped in like he been doing this thing for 10 years. He's a vet. So that joke was
Yeah.
hitting the shots. But guys like that, man, you got Jaden Mouton, a little young point guard, gonna be a monster. 94 feet. That's his name, Mr. 94 feet. Then you got Bruno, Amarian Bruno. Man, a cat can shoot the ball by 5'11", 6 foot. He a sophomore. That sophomore group gonna be real special, I believe.
I'm taking notes of that, coach.
Yeah,
I'm
so
taking notes of that. Yeah.
yeah, but once we put it together, I'm telling you, it's gonna be real special. And you got Devin, Devin Polidor. Devin Polidor, 6'1". He'll be a senior this year. He played, he played throughout the year sparingly, but this guy, he gonna have a breakout year. I'm telling you, he'll lock down defender. He can really shoot that basketball. I'm telling you, he gonna open some eyes, and people got to be ready for him. I'm telling you, he gonna be a lockdown defender, man. And we got another kid that got a lot of potential, Jatiron Smith. He moved in from Abilene last year. He didn't get a lot of playing time, getting adjusted to the way we do things out here. But this
Mm-hmm.
this young man upside is crazy. I'm telling you. If he really lock into it like I think he can, he gonna take off. I'm telling you, he built like a tank, built like Chauncey Billups, man, like 5'11", 6 foot, but he thick, got thick legs, look like a running back. That joker shoot it, handle, he's strong, he can defend. And those are the things that you win with guys who could do a little bit of everything. I'm really not so caught up into position, like, oh, he a point guard here. Man, can you play? Or you a ball player?
Mm-hmm.
Can you play defense? Can you put the ball in the hole? That's what I look at, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of a positionless coach, you know what I mean? So that's how I like to play the game. And those
Oh
are the
yeah.
things that I want to highlight right there.
Oh yeah, Coach. Hey, and to my college coaches viewing in, I can tell you, man, Coach Thomas, man, he ain't like you said, man. He's being honest. He's an honest, straightforward guy. He's telling you, man, these kids can play. But the most important thing he said for these college coaches, man, is that they're winners. You know, they're winners, and winning is a skill, it's a mindset, or what have you. And everybody's not winners. You know, in life you got winners, you got losers. Like you said, Coach, you know, I love how you say that. Hey, we look at it every day. Hey, 1-0, either 0-1. You know, so
Exactly.
you know, but the thing is, like you say, winners and players that are winners, they have those intangibles that they bring to your program that they help you to win because they understand, they know how to fit in, they know how to play a role. You know, it's different attributes they bring. They know how to be selfless, you know, or what have you. So no doubt about that, Coach, man. Hey, college coaches, hey, make sure you tap in, man. Westbrook. I know everybody knows about, you know, Lonzo Garrett, what have you, but like as Coach say, man, he has a great program. It's some great players down there in Beaumont, man. No doubt about that. Well, Coach, man, hey, it's been a pleasure, Coach. Two things I always do, man, before we leave. First thing, Coach, go ahead and let everybody know how they can get in touch with the team, how they can follow the team, or what have you, and also how they get in touch with you, any contact information that you want to give out for us with yourself, Coach.
You can always keep up with the team Westbrook Bruin basketball on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We posting every day. We like to highlight all the off season stuff. Just we want to keep it exciting for you to kind of look at the content what we got going on. You can check me out. I'm just Coach Michael Thomas on Facebook. Michael Thomas. You just type it in, boom. You can always contact me. I'm available to talk whatever you need to be, whatever. And like I say, man, I'm on all social platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So I'm easy to get in contact with, man. I'm not one of them dudes that you know, I be hiding from people. You know, people can't. I'm just a regular dude, man. You know, I'm just a regular dude. So just hit me any kind of way you can. I'm gonna respond. I promise.
What's that, Coach? You ain't got no student loan and no bill collection, no
Oh
no
no,
no
I ain't got
no
none of
no no no
that.
no crazy ex-wife looking for you, no no.
None of that. I don't think so. No, I ain't got none. I'm just playing. Yeah.
Well, Coach, man, hey man, seriously, Coach, I have truly, man, had a great time with you, man. Like I said, Coach, I'm all about relationships, Coach. So hopefully this is the start of a great relationship, man. You know, between me and
Likewise.
you, Coach. Man, no doubt about that, Coach. But hey, hopefully, Coach, you've been watching the show, Coach. So go ahead and ask this, Coach. Who had the great pleasure of interviewing you, Coach, today? Who you rocking with, Coach?
Man, TaylorMade hoops all day, every day. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
hey, Coach, man. Hey, Coach, I appreciate you, Coach. And like I said, Coach, we'll do this again, Coach. Most definitely, you know, during the season, Coach. When you have time, whatever. Look, Coach, we ain't got to wait till the end of the season after you cut down them nets, man. Hey, you family now, Coach. So I'm be hitting you. Hey, Coach, and I might want you to come on the show just just to tell me about that defense you play, so you playing or what have you,
Got you.
Coach.
Yes, sir. I got
Hey,
you.
hey, Coach, I ain't gonna hold you up, Coach, man. Hey, keep pouring into these young men. And to be honest, Coach, I'm truly impressed with you, Coach. Not as a basketball coach. Of course, I know you know your X and O's, Coach. Like you say, hey, you would be a state championship coach. But I'm more impressed with the man you are and the impact that you're trying to have on these young men. Much respect to you on that end, Coach.
Yes, sir. Likewise, man. Appreciate everything. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, no doubt, Coach. Have a good one, Coach. Much love, man.
All right.
All right.